Ladies and gentlemen, in the beginning of the Great Resignation that started about 2 years ago, it tended to be younger men and women, and it was people with lower paying type jobs that worked in food service, retail, hospitality. They were not the best paying jobs, but things are shifting real fast. Now, the biggest ones that are part of the great resignation are the older workers with more higher paying jobs. They are now leaving at a rapid pace. So it's no longer just focused on, low wages. These are people that didn't have low wages, but they are still exiting from the workforce. Now, the main growth in the quit rates is coming from older, more tenured workers, and these are people in high paying industries like finance, tech, and other worker fields, according to data from two separate human resources analysis companies. These workers say they are searching for less tangible benefits. They want more flexibility. That's what these older workers want. That changing composition of who's quitting paints an increasingly complicated picture of the state of work in America and suggests that while quit rates have slightly decreased from their high last year, the phenomena is not going away just yet. Indeed, the Bureau of Labor Statistic data for March, the most recent available month, saw overall the quit rate return to its previous high of 3% of all employment, with a record of this is how many people left in March. 4.5 million people left their jobs in the month of March. More than half of the growth in quits compared to a month earlier came from higher paying business and professional service sectors. So they're seeing something they thought might not happen, being that many of these older people been on their jobs for many years and they're making good incomes, but it does not seem to really matter. They are still leaving in high numbers. And some of the economists are really surprised because of the inflation and potential for another recession. They thought many of these folks would stay put, but that's not the case. The great resignation is almost like a train where it's built. It's all this momentum and it's hard to slow down. But certain workers are getting off the train and new workers are coming on, said Luke Perdue, an economist for Gusto. It's payroll, benefits, and human resource management software company. And the rates of quits are always high among younger, but it's really not that high among your more senior workers out here. So those who tend to be less vested in their jobs, and those lives are less stable. But this was true during the early stages of the pandemic when these workers quit their jobs amid heightened demand, eked out better wages and conditions elsewhere. But those quit rates have been declining. Data from Gusto, which typically works with companies that have around 25 or more employees, show that the average tenure of people who quit has grown in every age group and in nearly every industry. In other words, older people who've worked at a company longer are also quitting. A similar change is happening at bigger companies, according to data from People, analytics provider. So they're saying that it is in 2021, the quit rate for people 50 to 60 was 34%. And this year, it is at 63%. Between the first quarter of 2021 and 2022, the greatest growth in resignation was among age 40 to 60 and those with tenure of more than 10 years. And they said older and more experienced workers are especially likely to be quitting in knowledge workers industry like finance and tech. There are a myriad of reasons why these folks are leaving. Don't look for one thing that's driving the great resignation. So they said it's actually made up of a combination of different patterns and will continue to change as the labor force changes, as the economy recover. Well, we'll see if it recovers. I don't think it will. Among the more stable, because a lot of times these older workers are stable. The quits have been driven by everything from a desire to continue working remotely to a greater search for meaning, to simply have the means to do so. So a lot of these older workers, many of them are looking to work remotely. They don't want to get in the car and commute to jobs every day, especially at this time in their life. So some of these analysts are saying this is like a great midlife crisis that these older workers are going through. So, importantly, people who quit to hold out for jobs that they want or forego work entirely are usually the ones with the financial means to do so. So, such workers, either due to savings or spouse income, have the freedom to look for other work, including gig work or starting their own business. Gusto's survey of new businesses show that they've shifted from e-commerce startups earlier in the pandemic to more professional services, say like an accountant starting their own firm rather than working for someone else. But you know what is exploding? A lot of these folks are quitting their jobs and they're getting into real estate. They said the real estate licensing and people testing and everything is booming in the country. All right. So we shall see what happens. I mean, the great resignation is still going strong. They are expecting it to go strong all through 2022 into 2023. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So ladies and gentlemen, look at everything going on out here. You got these people running from these jobs. You got the food shortage. You got inflation. You got these ridiculous gas prices out here. I mean, it just seems like nothing is going right for America. Nothing, you know? And it doesn't look like this whole thing is going to turn around anytime soon. So, don't get me wrong, the younger people are still leaving these low paying jobs, but wow, now the older people that didn't have low paying jobs are running from these jobs as well. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.